that you got up early in the morning and just these students actually, all of you who are here, just wanted to make a special effort to attend my lecture. It's not easy in the morning. Some of you may be sleeping, some of you are still coming. That's okay, we have to start. But thank you for coming. I was not expecting anybody. It's a bonus for me. Anyway, the good part of the respiratory system, embryology is concerned, is a very tiny thing. And half of that you know it already. If I ask that, what is the main stimulus for the growth of the lung, you know that amniotic fluid plays a major role. Okay, that's one. The second thing is, when does it start? You know that most of the organs are starting, the system starts around fourth week. So it's not third week is kept for cardiovascular. So the fourth week, most of the system, that includes respiratory system, GI system, renal system, they start at fourth week. Then, through some stages, finally the lung is formed. But the lung is not active till the baby is born. You know it already. So these are the, preamble, or these are the most information before you start thinking about the development of the lung. And then also you know the lung is coming from the foregut. It's basically the endoderm that we are thinking about. And I draw, the first drawing over there is showing you that the lung is coming along with the foregut structure that includes esophagus and the stomach and the duodenum, half of the duodenum. They all come from the foregut, and so therefore lung is a part of that, part of the foregut, not the GI system, but a part of the foregut. But it is joined together initially, and by 8 weeks, 10 weeks, it's separated out. But initially, it has to be together. So that's the reason. But that the lung is developed so quickly. It's not functional, but it's developed very quickly because of the initial amniotic fluid that helps to trigger. There are other molecular mechanisms that we'll talk about that when I show you these slides later. That there are some molecular mechanisms like insulin growth factor, platelet, thyroid. These are the other factors which help the growth of the lung. Again, the detailing of the molecular mechanism, you don't need it, but again, it's nice to know. And I always say, forget is better, but if you know a little bit, it's okay. So there are molecular mechanisms, and for each system, I talk a little bit about that. So this will not be exceptional. I'll give you some genetic markers which are responsible to stimulate the growth of the lung. But basically, the amniotic fluid is a pivotal influence on the growth, that you know it already. Then what happens is that it goes through different stages. I'm going to do that. The first stage is that it will be growing like a little, like a gland. We call pseudoglandular stage. Between 6 to 16 weeks, it doesn't look like the entire lung, but it gets the stimulus already from the amniotic fluid. So it will just grow. It will not go back. It will grow this way, forward. So the first one is called the pseudoglandular stage. Don't write anything. I'm going to draw that to make you understand. So it's like a glandular stage. A little projection has come. And by 26 weeks, that becomes the little hole is inside. So it's called canalicular stage. So first is a glandular stage without a hole, but now the hole will be there. We call that is the canalicular stage. And then you have the canalicular stage happens by 16 weeks. And by 16 to 26 weeks, we have, or 26 weeks onward, we have a stage that is a very important stage we call that is a terminal sac. So just think about it, something you are blowing, it makes a little projection, and all of a sudden at the end of that, the little bulb is coming. That is called the sac. So that stage is very important. That stage is between 26 weeks and onwards. just, I would say that, it will be till the birth of the baby. The sac is continuously coming. But the final stage is the alveolar stage. The alveolus is very important, and that's the reason the baby can be born easily and is ready to take the oxygen from outside. So there are 4 stages. One more time. Initially, it is by the 6 to 16 weeks, it is like a rod type of thing. Then is a canalicular stage by 26 weeks, and then beyond that, by 26 weeks, the sac, terminal sac stage starts. 26 weeks start, but it goes up to the birth of the baby. We call it the terminal sac, meaning that the little projection has a little bulb at the end, and so therefore 26, 28 weeks is very vital. If a baby is born by 26, 28 weeks, you know that that baby we call is a premature baby. But the baby can survive because the sac is there. It's ready to get, baby has to be in the incubator. Everybody knows that it has to be in the incubator. But that incubator will help the baby to grow, but baby can also take breath and can be exposed to oxygen because the sac is already present. Without the sac, the baby is born, say 20 weeks, 22 weeks, 26, it's very difficult for a baby to survive. But the sac is not there. After the sac, we need multiple sac in terms of the alveolus, or alveoli. But that takes longer time. Even the baby is born, the alveoli still multiply till 8 years. Baby will be running here and there, take the breath and everything. The alveoli will be multiplying. Your lung is now mature lung. All of your lung is mature. But the early part, when we were born, it was not mature. It was still growing. So the alveoli will completely, will be continuously to grow till 8 years, approximate 8 years. Let's do it one more time. What I'm trying to say, the lung development is not complete when the baby is born. That's my message. It's continuously growing. In terms of number of alveoli is increasing. But what I'm trying to emphasize also that a lung is functional, almost functional, around 26, 28 weeks because the sac is present. Unless the sac is present, the lung is not functional. But lung is really functional at birth. Because most of the babies are born at 37 weeks. They are not born at 28 weeks. That is called premature baby. But what I'm saying is premature baby, before 26, 28 weeks, baby may die. You got the message? Baby may die. Okay? But beyond that, the baby can survive. Although, most of the babies do not get out. So there's no question about functional lung. Functional lung is always after the birth. But what I'm saying, if at all the baby is born, could be functional at 28 weeks. That's the message. Then you have to know also, there is also one substance called surfactant. And I don't know whether histologists have gone through that yet, but you will now know that there are 2 special type of cells are present in the lung. One is called pneumocyte 1, another was pneumocyte 2. In the sac, there are 2 types. One cell is like simple squamous epithelium. That's called the type 1 cell, predominantly present in the alveoli for the gas exchange. The other type of cell, pneumocyte 2, is producing surfactant. What is a surfactant? It reduces the surface tension so it can inflate, the lung can inflate. So it is very vital for lung to expand. So pneumocyte 2 is producing surfactant. It's basically a phospholipid which helps to expand the lung. So absence of that, some baby could be born, we call respiratory distress syndrome. RDS is very common. A baby is born, everything is okay, but surfactant is not there, so baby cannot respire properly. You have to give exogenously some surfactant in order for the lungs to expand. Then again, remember the fact that the lung agenesis, lung cannot be formed also if there is a kidney disease oligohydramnios could be affecting the lung development because there is no amniotic fluid. So with this little understanding, let's have some drawing to make sure that you understand what I said so far. And then I'll be showing you the PowerPoint at the end. What I'm trying to say is that the respiratory system starts around 4th week. Everybody knows that. 4th week is the time all of a sudden the respiratory system starts. Now how does it start? It starts like often we call laryngotracheal diverticulum, or a little projection like this way, over here. Okay, where it is starting the endoderm. Obviously it has to be endoderm, not outside, not ectoderm, endoderm. And then immediately, one side is going like this way, one side is going this way. So it is connected. One side will be forming the lung, and another one is going and esophagus. And so this is the diagram I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is it is joined together. The foregut, everything is the foregut. Then there is a septum coming, or ridge. Often it is called the ridge or septum. Initially it is there, but then it will be completely separated out by 8 to 10 weeks. 8 to 10 is completely separated out. Is that okay? Everybody understand? This is the starting point. Then what I said, that initially this one was looking like this. We call 4 stages. Remember, the first stage is called the pseudoglandular stage. Pseudoglandular stage is between 6 to 16 weeks. Pseudoglandular stage is a solid. Initially, this part was initially solid. Then there will be a little bit of canalicular will be formed. So second stage is canalicular stage. Canalicular. It's very easy to remember. And that is between 16 to 26. The most important part, obviously, is the terminal sac. And that is between 26 to till birth. Till birth means, around 37 weeks. Which means that this is going and all of a sudden it is like this. If you think about this one, it has this, then it is like this. These are all alveolus. Then this will be multiplying, so it is very easy. That's your lung, looks like. These are alveoli. So little bulb is their terminal stage. So therefore, the 4th one, often we call alveolar stage. That's the alveolar stage. So this alveolar stage is approximately, I'm just giving a ballpark, around 32 weeks till 8 years. 8 years. It's still growing. Alveolar stage is still continuing to grow. That's the message. The lung is continuously growing till the baby, is born and beyond that. That is alveolar stage. But what stage is important? This one. Because there is a little sac is there. There is not one sac, couple of sacs are already there. So in order for the baby to take respiration, in case the baby is delivered prematurely around 28 weeks. Many times it happens, the baby is born at 32 weeks. So we ask the question, can the baby survive? We say that yes, the baby can survive because the lung is partly developed. Partly developed means is not the canalicular stage. It is not the pseudoglandular stage. It is a sac. With that will be exposed now to the external environment. And there are 2 kinds of cells present over here. In this, there are 2 kinds of cells. One cell, you know it already, that the lung should have a kind of cells that should be the simple squamous epithelium. Yes or no? This should have simple squamous epithelium. That's the pneumocyte 1, simple squamous epithelium. Why simple? Because it's easy for the gas exchange. We don't need a columnar cell like GI, because the oxygen is right over here. Here is the blood vessel. So in order for it to come, both carbon dioxide will come this side and oxygen will go other side. So you need the thickness should be as minimal as possible, the simple squamous epithelium. But there is another group of cells, that's the cells I was referring to earlier, trying to put in different color. In between you have these cells, many places along the respiratory tract, we call pneumocyte 2. This pneumocyte 2 is responsible for the production of the surfactant. What is a surfactant? It is a phospholipid. It reduces the surface tension, therefore the lung can expand. Very important for the baby to have the surfactant. If that is lacking, if it is absent, we call respiratory distress syndrome. It's very, very common. Like, because you will be a medical doctor one day. Just wait for another 4 years, then you say, oh, I'm a medical doctor. And you will be getting married, you'll get married. I know that. And you will have a baby, that also I know. You'll have a baby, and then the problem comes, like it happened to me, that's what I'm saying, I have 2 kids. So when they were born, because I was thinking whether they have a respiratory distress syndrome or not, because they were in the crib, little crib. So the baby, when they are born, they do their respiration is fast because the metabolism is, so they are respiring maybe 32 per minute. Your respiration rate is around 16, 15, 16, 17, like that. You are normal, so we're doing, and then wait a little bit, and then another. But the baby is, which is good. But if baby is not doing that, then you will be suspicious whether the surfactant is enough or not. And the problem is with you will be like me, because you're a medical doctor, you want your baby to be 100% perfect. Nothing can go wrong. So these are the worrisome things, but it's an unnecessary stress. It's called the creep syndrome. The respiratory distress syndrome in your book, you see that creep, C-R-I-B. Do you know what is a creep? It's like a bed. Creep syndrome. Baby, there's a little bed, baby has a little bed. You have seen in your house or maybe in your little bed where the baby is put over there. That's called crib. And you put the baby and you go to sleep and you are not careful about the baby's respiration is okay or not, baby may die. So that's why it is called the crib syndrome. Why you don't have to worry about it? Because too much knowledge is bad. Too much knowledge is bad. No, I don't think so. You have to pass the exam and everything. Too much knowledge is good, right? No. But you have to know without stress. So these are the facts that on that you will be seeing some PowerPoint. So is that clear to you that what is happening? Fourth week starts as a pseudoglandular, canalicular, terminal sac. Sac is important, and then alveolar stage to 8 weeks. How it starts is over here. So a baby can be born, and baby is drinking milk and immediately getting some choking sensation. And I told you that many times. That is translated into the fact what we call as the tracheoesophageal fistula. So in that sense, how that will look like, almost like a diagram like this, but it's many varieties there in your PowerPoint. You see that I put many varieties from the book, but you don't have to know all the varieties. These are more of a, it's nice to know the different varieties of tracheoesophageal fistula. But basically what happens is that you have the trachea over here. So this is the trachea. Nice trachea with the cartilage. And you have the esophagus. By the time you have the esophagus over here, but the esophagus doesn't form much, going. The esophagus starts from here. Trachea and the bronchus over here. So I put the red color over here. See what is happening. This is the esophagus and this is the esophagus. So here is the fistula. You got it? This is the tracheoesophageal. Tracheoesophageal did not separate out. You put a catheter over there, is the atresia, esophageal atresia is there. So there will be polyhydramnios. You understand that? You didn't understand. Anytime there is a atresia, like if I say duodenal atresia or anything, this kid will be vomiting more because there will be polyhydramnios. Okay? But that's not important over here. Over here, you see this diagram to show you that what do you mean by tracheoesophageal fistula? It did not separate out. Why it was together? Because the separation should be complete. It is together. Trachea with esophagus, tracheoesophageal fistula, period. There are many varieties in your book. You will see that, each permutation, combination, you can have 10 different varieties, which is not important for you. But you should know what does it mean to you. It means the trachea is attached to the esophagus. That's all. Tracheoesophagus. Why it is attached? Because they were together to start with. And it did not separate. So this is one important point. You must know that. This is a nice diagram showing you the tracheoesophageal fistula. These are the various varieties. I gave you the idea of the surfactant, and now you are ready to see some of the points. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. The first slide, obviously, I talk about myself, but make sure that you have some concept. So, if I read it, the respiratory system, the lower respiratory organs, larynx, upper and the lower both, the larynx, trachea, bronchus, and the lung, begin to form during the 4th week of development. I should put not the lower, but the upper and the lower both. The identified the laryngotracheal diverticulum, remember the endoderm responsible for epithelium for both respiratory and GI system. Now, when I talk about the foreguard, when I talk about the endoderm, it is basically forming the epithelium. Bronchus has some smooth muscle. If I ask that smooth muscle coming from where? The smooth muscle has to come from the mesoderm. It's not coming from the endoderm. Okay? Similarly, if I say that, so you need one more diagram before I go on, which I forgot to put it over here. So this is the final diagram, which you know already. The good part is that you know it already. So I put it over here one more time, that how things are developing. That the classical diagram, you know that this is the ectoderm, this is the neural tube, and then you have the mesoderm, which is coming like this way. And here is your notochord, right? Intermediate, the paraxial intermediate, and this is the somatic and the splanchnic. So now I'm joining it, okay? Now the baby is folding. I'm joining it over here. And I'm joining over here. This is the somatic part, forming the, I talked about that in relation to the abdomen, but now you'll be thinking about this area. So what about the thing on the outer part? We are looking at some of this skin and some muscles there. These are, if I touch it, I can get the sensation that is coming from the somatic. So these are all somatic. But inside, you have the splanchnic. The splanchnic is responsible for that muscle. I'm talking about the smooth muscle. Okay? I'm talking about the visceral pleura. Okay? But this part, some part will be coming to form the lung. I'm talking about not the lung, the parietal pleura. Parietal pleura is coming from here, this part. And this part will be forming the visceral pleura. and the lung is in between. You can see the lung is around this. This is the heart, will be over here, lung will be over here and over here. So that's the diagram, you have to follow it over here. You know the picture already, you know what is going to do. If I say that there is a pleura called visceral pleura, you can close your eyes and can answer the question. This visceral pleura must be coming from the splanchnic mesoderm. If I say there is a smooth muscle over there, you can close your eyes and say it must be coming from the splanchnic mesoderm. If I say there is a parietal pleura, which is the somatic in origin, must be coming from the somatic mesoderm because it's supplied by two nerves. They are somatic nerves. They are either the intercostal nerve or the phrenic nerve. Very easy. If I ask someone the question, is not a rocket science. If it is insensitive, if it is autonomic nervous system is supply, must be coming from this splanchnic. If it is sensitive, and you know that what is it? This is the somatic, that's the splanchnic from the very beginning. So must be coming around this area. Is it okay, or you are still thinking about what is the problem?
Pleura muscle and what? The pleura muscles and what?
Yeah. This is the splanchnic. So all these things, if I talk about anything coming from here, it has to be supplied by the autonomic nervous system because it is a splanchnic in origin. So it does not give any sensation. Means sympathetic, parasympathetic is supplied. Visceral pleura, lung, heart, all these things are coming from here. If I say that bronchus is a smooth muscle coming from where? Splanchnic. But over here, this is the somatic because you can see the somatic. So all somatic, outside somatic. So if I say intercostal muscle, have you heard the name intercostal muscle? Coming from where? Somatic mesoderm. So it will be sensitive. So keep in mind that diagram in order to understand what I'm going to show you over here. So this is exactly the starting point. You can see that they were joined together, then slowly they are separated out. The separation takes place around 8 to 10 weeks. It's all separated out. But initial growth, so you can see that it's a pseudoglandular stage, and then the canalicular stage is there, but there's no sac yet. This is a nice picture showing the two different colors. The one color, yellow color, is the epithelium. That is the endoderm. The red one is the muscle. This is the splanchnic mesoderm. So some muscle is there in the respiratory system. Some muscle is, particularly in the bronchus, muscle is there. Is that clear? And then it will be separated out. One will be going to the bronchial side, one will be going to the esophagus. And then, over the time, you can see the lung part is there. This is actually the terminal sac. Can you see that? Terminal sac. And this is the alveolar stage. So these are all terminal sacs. This is terminal sac. This is more like an alveolar stage. It's a little bit mature lungs. But this is more like terminal sac. The baby can survive. It happens around 28 weeks. And this is the way you should think about it. So two different types of cells I told you over here. Type 1 cell is the alveolar cells, the gas exchange. Type 2 are responsible for the surfactant. It decreases the surface tension, allowing the lung to expand. Remember, there are two types of cells. This will be dealt more in detail in the histology. You will understand how does it look like, the type 1. You know it already that it is a simple squamous epithelium. It's a flat cell. And the type 2 cells are the surfactant cells. Now, this is the diagram, the last diagram I made it. Now I make it more palatable to you so you understand what it is. You know it already from the very beginning. Over the last 6 months I have been drawing this picture. Now, follow this one. This is an important diagram. What happened over here? The blue color obviously is the somatic mesoderm. The blue color over here is the somatic mesoderm as well as the ectoderm. The skin is there. You can see the skin and the somatic part over there. But you can see the heart, the two endocardial tube is coming in the middle, and you can see the two lungs are developing over here. And it's surrounded by a membrane, so mostly it is the splanchnic mesoderm. Is that okay to you? Now I will be asking you, what is this little thing over here? What is the name of this structure? Little thing.
Neural crest. Neural crest.
Loud.
Neural crest.
Huh?
Neural crest.
So I can walk now like a king. Tell me, but no answer. What is that little one over there? It is yellow color. Yellow color. So I come back tomorrow then, okay?
Neural tube.
Shake your head a little bit. You have seen the trachea bronchial bud is there. So what is in between? Is the esophagus. Is the esophagus. Makes sense to you? The esophagus is the posterior structure, and the yellow color meaning that it is coming from the endoderm. The esophagus is growing up, but I'm worried about your growing up. Are you growing up too? You need amniotic fluid. Okay. You can see now the next diagram, the esophagus. This is the esophagus. This is what? The lung. And it's surrounded by, you can see the two kinds of now membrane is coming. This is the visceral, and this one is the somatic. All of you, please look at carefully. The one which is over here, this is the lung, surrounded by a splanchnic mesoderm, and this is the somatic mesoderm. So you know this is the visceral pleura, this is the parietal pleura. It's coming from this one is the somatic, and this is the splanchnic. So his pericardium is also like that. So this is the heart. The next diagram will be more appropriate. You can see the two tubes are joined to form one tube, which is the heart over here. The heart is over here. And the lung is very easily recognizable by and the esophagus, the word esophagus is there. I did not put the esophagus over there initially, just to ask you that what is that little thing in between, yellow color, in between the two bronchi? None of you could ever answer. None of you. But I had a class 2 days back over here, all of the female answered that. All of the ladies answered that. Is good or bad? Good or bad? No, of course, the only thing is I understand, their class was at 1 o'clock. Your class is 8 o'clock. That's the difference. Maybe half of the students did not take breakfast. Yes. How many students did not take breakfast? Raise your hand. I understand. That's the difference. Okay, now you see the diagram again. All of you. It will not be very much, couple of slides there. Couple of slides, but I'm just trying to make a story over here, that how it is formed. You can see the esophagus again over here. The lung is over here, again there, and the heart is in between. So now you can see the mediastinum, how it is growing. Heart is in between. Mediastinum is the space between the two lungs, period. Mediastinum is the space between the two lungs. So the main structure present in mediastinum is the heart. Inferior middle mediastinum is the heart. So you can see that right in the middle. And this is the lung is coming, surrounded by visceral pleura, and then outside is the parietal pleura. The outside one is coming from the somatic mesoderm. Inside is coming from, this one is coming from the splanchnic mesoderm. So therefore, this one is supplied by the autonomic. The outer one will be supplied by two important nerves, intercostal nerve and the phrenic nerve. Both are somatic nerve. Make that concept 100% clear. If you have not understood that, take help from your friend. Now here is the story. The lung development, the pseudoglandular stage, 6 to 16 weeks, canalicular stage, 16 to 26 weeks, terminal sac stage, 26 weeks to birth. Important stage for viability of the fetus because of adequate surfactant production. Surfactant is also present over there. 26 weeks is 28 weeks is very good because surfactant starts at 22 weeks, but it has adequate number, adequate amount, not number, adequate amount, adequate number of pneumocyte 2. So therefore, the lung could be expanding if the baby is born prematurely. No, 99.9% babies are not coming out at 26, 28 weeks. But this is the exceptional stage I'm talking. The baby should be put in the incubator, but baby can survive because of the fact that there is some surfactant already there, and terminal sac is there, ready for the gas exchange. Alveolar stage, 32 weeks to 8 years. Is that clear now? Say yes. Yes. Good. Oligohydramnios and lung development. Note that fluid in the lung in embryonic life is important stimulus for lung development. In oligohydramnios, such as congenital kidney disease, lung development is retarded. This you know even long time back. Say yes. Yes. What kind of yes it is? You did not know this thing? Yes, you know it already? Yes. That's called yes. When I say, so now I'm going to show you tracheoesophageal fistula, the diagram I made it earlier, and also the respiratory distress syndrome due to type 2, alveolar surgery. I already explained both of them. These are the clinical scenarios. These are the two clinical scenarios. And forget about the third one. Now this is the one I drawn earlier. Which diagram is better? This one of the drawn earlier. You can see over here, this is the esophageal atresia, and here is the tracheoesophageal fistula. The esophagus is coming out from the trachea. It did not separate. Isn't it? That's exactly my drawing was. Yes. Again, that yes is not great. Yes. Yes. No, your jaw is better. You need your breakfast for sure. You need your breakfast. And there are many varieties, of that. And I don't want you to remember all this. The more common is this one, which I drawn it earlier. This is the, tracheoesophageal fistula. There are other varieties over there. And you will see that other varieties from your book. This is taken from your book, not too much to talk about. Now, molecular studies, you can see some of the growth factors, particularly the insulin growth factor, the platelet growth factor, and the thyroid transcription factor. These are the three genetic factors which are also responsible for the growth of the lung. So one more time, the platelet, the insulin, and the thyroid transcription factor, all of them participate in the formation of the growth of the lung. Please also note that at birth, the lungs are half filled fluid from the amniotic cavity. So amniotic fluid is still derived from the amniotic cavity, or amniotic fluid is still going into the lung. So those who have seen the YouTube or you have witnessed a baby is born, I don't know whether you have seen any delivery yet. The first thing the clinicians, they will do it is to put a catheter and they take the fluid out. Actually, they target the lung. The lung is already, because baby is already born, baby will be crying and they will be getting choking sensation. So they don't allow the baby to cry right away.
Baby is born delivery, immediately somebody is there, and then do like that, baby, I'm happy. They're not happy, they cry. But before that, the doctors, they try to delay a couple of seconds. Baby should not cry right away. Then they will be choking. All the fluid will go again into the lung, means in the alveolus, which is bad. So as soon as the baby is born, a nurse is there ready, with the suction, a catheter. You will be ready. As soon as they open the mouth and then the baby, baby is crying and then happy. Cry. All of us will cry. All of us will cry.
Now, this is the question I put it for your TBL. Remember the medical legal case? And if you have not understood, you can understand now what did I say? I said that sometimes you may be going to the court, sometimes, and you have to be ready with your scientific knowledge. And this is exactly can happen, and it happens a lot. It's not one or two, it happens a lot. And these are women's issue, because they think that all the babies will be born alive. And this is expectation, and they are not wrong. All the babies should be, born alive. But things can change. A baby may be dead inside the womb, inside the uterus, and then a birth of the baby is associated with a still birth, meaning that baby is not moving. Baby is already dead. But if that woman challenges you that my baby, you actually kill my baby, it's not a very pleasant situation. I will take you to the court. And she can go to the court and say that my baby was alive. You say that no, ma'am, you are wrong. Or to the judge, respected judge, listen to me that how the medicine works. That if a baby is alive, that means after the birth, that the lung will be expanding, there will be air inside, and if you put it in the water, it will not sink, it will be floating. But this baby, which was born, it is the baby's lung was like a brick, like a solid mass. So it just falls down, meaning that the baby never got exposed to the air in the lung. We survived. Now that is not my question today. My question is, tell me another, I give you a little clue, another important structure that is also medico-legal important and can ossify right at birth.
Kidneys? Kidneys?
Bones.
Skull, diaphragm,
Esophagus.
A diaphragm is a bone. I'm talking about, try to understand. A bone, which is also just, so this is a medical, you can also, not only the lung, you say that, well, the other thing is, here is the bone, it should be cartilage before the birth, but after birth it becomes a bone. So in this particular case, it is a cartilage, it's not a bone.
okay,
Vertebra.
skull,
I come tomorrow.
Vertebra.
What is the bone?
Vertebra. Mandible.
The name of the bone is patella. Patella ossifies, go back to your book, go back to your book. Patella ossifies just after the birth. So if it is a cartilage, you can tell the judge, look at the baby was not born properly. It is cartilage. Show there that, take a picture, take an X-ray. X-ray, bone should come immediately after the birth, but the patella was not there. So 2, you learned so far 2. We'll give you more over the time. So you are ready to face any challenges in life with the scientific knowledge. So remember patella.
Thank you very much, because this is the next one. You are hungry, I know, I finished right over here. Thank you.
Thank you.